Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Pod on the Mountain, a presentation of the We Can't Wrestle podcast, our monthly series where we are going through from the beginning to the end of Smoky Mountain Wrestling month to month. This month we are covering August of 1992. The Maxim Brothers here with you. I'm Nate. That's Aaron.
Hello, everybody.
And we're going to cover August of 92 here. We have a really big show in the middle. Fire on the Mountain, Run Boys Run,
Yes.
The Devil's in the House of the Rising Sun.
Yes.
Stupid.
Um,
But go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's Fire on the Mountain, and it's what's the start of basically what was basically said basically twice, but um, Jim Cornette's Smoky Mountain's big blow off, their big WrestleMania. So it's exciting, and
Mhm.
the company's kind of taking a turn. You can see where it's changing a little bit, and we'll talk about it as we go on. But
And would be remiss if I did not mention, just because this is the first time that we've done a show since. I mean, it's only been a day or two, but this week, the passing of Dory Funk Jr. and something that I had written down about Dory Funk Jr.'s passing is obviously I wasn't even alive during Dory Funk Jr.'s peak. I have seen some stuff from Florida, from just anything that you can find on YouTube to see older stuff. Not a big follower of Dory Funk Jr.'s career, I guess, other than reading about it and the significance of it during his time and his style of wrestling. Not necessarily something I'm gonna go out of my way to watch. And I'm going a long way around to say he's part of the Funk family. He's a very instrumental in the history of wrestling, an NWA World Champion, obviously a draw for his time, was one of the bigger stars in the country, and transcended and went to Japan just like Terry did. They were a big deal everywhere they went for as long as they wanted to be. And I would never deny the impact and the importance of Dory Funk Jr. to pro wrestling. And his passing made me think about the fact that there really, really are not many left from his.
yeah, I thought of that too. He was one of the last ones. I think it's I'm sure there's some uh territorial guys that probably might still be kicking around, but I'm not thinking of. But like, I think it's getting pretty close to like um Bill Eadie being like one of the last guys. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
And he
guess
was
you could
like
say,
he was almost considered one of the younger ones of that
oh, yeah.
generation.
Yeah.
You know
He
what I
was
mean?
in the 70s. He was one of the young bucks in that
Yeah.
time, the youngsters. Um, I don't know. Would, would we consider Ken Patera that era? I mean, I know Bob Backlund's still alive.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think Dory even started working in the 60s, but if I want to speak right, you know what I
Mm,
mean? But I don't
yeah.
think Patera
Yeah.
actually started working in the 60s. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, Patera can probably, I mean, I'd say like, yeah, you can put him in the same kind of category as that, but I mean, Funk, I'd even put him further than Patera, you know? If it's just now I'm curious. Yeah, Dory Funk debuted in 1963.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was
Yeah.
sometime in the 60s that
I mean, it's just like crazy to think that that guy debuted in 1963 and like still was.
yeah, didn't he do
I don't
some
know.
crazy wild shit in Japan just like a couple of years ago or something?
Yeah, like he debuted in 63. Ken Patera debuted in 1972. So like
Okay.
he had
Yeah.
like 10 years on Ken Patera, and then just real quick, and then we can get into the show just because now it's gonna be curious all day. Let's see when. But no, going off what you were saying with Dory, like Dory Funk, obviously anybody that's a fan of our shows knows that I've and Axe debuted in 72, so Dory even went ahead of them. But like, I don't like anybody that's a fan of all of our broadcasts or whatever podcast, whatever you want to call it, knows that we've made light of Dory Funk and joked about him and stuff like that, and he wasn't one of my favorite guys. But there's a lot of guys that I can say he's not one of my favorite guys, but I'm never gonna um, downplay the fact that the impact he had on the business, the title reigns that he had, the longevity that he had of his career, and um, not to mention the fact of, and I've said this before, like a lot of times the legacy of guys can also go into the fact of who they trained. And there's a lot of WWE guys that went through that funkin' dojo, like Edge. Like he didn't have like the necessarily like he was the only guy that trained him, but he was almost like the finishing school for those guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before they got into the WWF, like Edge, Mark Henry, guys like that. So, and plus you don't want anybody to die, but it is what it is.
Rest in peace, Lemonhead.
Yes.
You say that with
sir.
We joke with affection on this show.
Yes.
Even when we're poking fun on this show, it's all with respect. Well, not to Buck Zumhoff, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yes, let's dive into August of 1992 in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Well, just real quick, top 2 songs, top 2 movies, just real quick, because the song, like, this is part of the and I did something a little different, and then we'll get into the shows. But like, it's crazy because guess what the number? I'm not even gonna have you guess. The number 1 song is still "End of the Road" by Boyz II Men.
That does not surprise me.
It is August 1992. The song's been out for like ever, but it's still kicking strong. And then it's "Baby, Baby, Baby" by TLC. And then the top 2 movies. You'll never guess the number 2 movie, but it's "Death Becomes Her,"
which is actually a pretty fun movie. I actually like that movie.
It is a fun, weird, dark humor movie. It's like one time I can actually say, "Hey, I like a Meryl Streep movie" or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, there's that, and then I know you like this movie. I like this movie too. But the number 1 movie was Clint Eastwood's The Unforgiven. That was the number 1 movie.
Very good Western.
Yes. And then
as far as it's funny because as far as 90s Westerns go, I still prefer Tombstone to Unforgiven, but I really is my personal opinion.
Yeah. It's a darker movie. And then I just, out of curiosity, I was like, what are the 2 biggest news stories of August 1992? And it could be 2 totally different. It's like it could be 2 totally different big topics that were going on in America. Then one was the opening of the Mall of America. So that just opened up, which was the biggest mall in the United States. I think it still stands as it was. I don't know if that thing's still open or not, but I know it still stands as the record to being the biggest mall in the history of the United States of America. And then the second thing that would have been on the radio when the guys were driving in between these songs was the Ruby Ridge standoff, shootout, murder. So yeah, that's what was going on.
That's what was going on 34 years ago.
Yes.
What was going on Smoky Mountain TV? First episode is August 1st of 1992. By the way, I know somebody out there will probably say brr to this, but I told Aaron that we're going to cover the August 29th episode with September. But anyway, August 1st, 92. Of course, Bob Caudle and Dutch Mantell open the show. We have Jimmy Golden and Robert Fuller against Ben Jordan and Richie Dye. Kind of a pudgy little man. But Fuller and Golden go over, Jordan and Dye. And then relating to Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, the stud stable. We have Ricky Morton, who is coming. He's going to be reuniting with Robert Gibson at Fire on the Mountain to face the stud stable. Ricky Morton at somebody's house.
It's Ronnie Garvin's backyard.
Ronnie Garvin's inside cutting a promo.
Yeah.
I've been to Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm
a Smoky Mountain boy.
I'm a Smoky Mountain boy from Atlanta, Georgia.
He's a Smoky Mountain boy, and Ricky Morton's made a lot of mistakes. Like he keeps telling us, like I made a lot of bad decisions, a lot of mistakes. Okay, man, you can let it go. Yeah, we're forgiving you.
I joined that York Foundation and put on them weird pants. And when he was in the York Foundation, he just, I don't know, I mean, I know it's Ricky Morton, so they wanted to try to change his look or something because he was Richard Morton, but he just looked silly. I don't know.
He just put on gray Rock and Roll Express pants. Like it was kind of like when they turned to Taka.
Yeah.
He didn't really change his look too much.
But yeah, like you said, he talks about how he's made mistakes and he's going to make up for those mistakes, reuniting with Ricky Morton to take on the stud stable. Then we get footage hype for the pile driver match that's coming up between Ron Garvin and Paul Orndorff, with some flashbacks talking about stuff having to do with that. Bob Caudle, Uncle Bob, standing by with Tim Horner. And Tim Horner actually made me laugh during this promo. Couldn't believe
he tried to cut a promo.
No, he's talking about how it's going to be the I Quit match coming up with Buddy Landel at the big show. And he says ever since it's been announced that Buddy Landel has to face Tim Horner in this I Quit match, he's been missing. I ain't seen Buddy Landel. He said, but I don't know, man. He might be in jail. I don't know. That made me laugh. Like he was like, he's been missing. There's Buddy Landel. He might be in jail.
He might be. I guess I didn't pay enough attention to fucking little Tim Horner cutting his promo. But like you said, it was that, and then we get the house show update from Phil Rainey, and the only thing that came out of it was that we find out that Brian Lee is going to be facing the Dirty White Boy in a Texas death match where pinfalls don't matter. It's the count of 10, you know?
Yeah.
There could be 4 pinfalls or 40 pinfalls. And you got to get up in 10 seconds. And Brian Lee says that he is known around the wrestling scene as basically as the 10-second man. It's like
I didn't catch that. I'm bad about watching the localized promos. I should watch them more closely than I do.
Yeah.
When they go into
He's like,
that.
I'm well known for being the best. That's what he said, the best 10-second man in the business. You want to say that, dude?
It's like I thought that was Jimmy Crockett. Get her.
Yeah.
Get her,
already
man.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm
already done. Jimmy Crockett watching the fights in a cuck chair.
I don't know why. I'm already done. So get her. I'm already done.
And then every time we talk about him, I go and start thinking about Robin Williams. Anyway, you talk about an old guy taking Viagra or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it. Anyway,
fucking pervert.
Then we get some footage of the shit that's been going down between Dixie Dynamite and Killer Kyle. And then Dixie Dynamite defeats the guy we had a nice discussion about last week, the Stormtrooper, or last month.
One thing is, like, real quick in that Dixie Dynamite cuts a promo and talks about how Killer Kyle, like, attacked him and, like, taped him up to the ropes. Like the last match they had. And he said, you got 70 pounds on me, man. You didn't need to take me up like that. It's like, well, stop fucking with him then. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
leave him alone if you don't want to keep getting fucked up. But anyway, like you
Catch a
said,
hint.
yeah.
I think this might be the last appearance of the Stormtrooper. I think he was
I
only at
really
this
hope
one
so.
taping. I think he was only at this one taping.
I really hope it is.
But after Dixie Dynamite dispatches of this Nazi piece of shit, Killer Kyle attacks him from behind, starts giving him another beating, and then chokes him with a coat hanger. And I wrote down here, like, I love the Killer Kyle character.
I do too.
I just love it. I just love it. Like, it's like, I don't know. It's one of those characters where it's one of those characters in wrestling where they're just like, we're just going to do all of this. All of the things we want to do with this character. We're just going to fucking do it.
We're just going to make this guy a bastard. You know what I mean? He's just a bastard. He's kind of like...
He's a weird bastard.
It's a different character style of it, but it's kind of like the big boss man of like the Attitude Era, where he just does like shitty things for no reason.
Yeah.
You know? And he has no remorse about it. But he's choking Dixie Dynamite with the coat hanger, like you said, and then the Smoky Mountain Jazz comes out, and Hector Guerrero uses the steel chair on Killer Kyle's head, and he no-sells it, looks right at Hector Guerrero, and Dutch Mantel says, "Get out of that ring, you crazy Mexican." Because if somebody would hit him, and if he'd hit some guy in a chair with a chair like that, and that happened, he'd get the hell out of there. So he's like, "Get the hell out of the ring, you crazy Mexican."
Crazy Mexican.
So
no subtlety there, Dutch. All right.
Yes.
We the people. And then Bob Armstrong comes out. Oh, there's actually, I want to mention it now just because I don't think I wrote it down. But I just want to mention that during one of the episodes of this show, just so everybody knows it's not just me, during one of the episodes of Smoky Mountain TV during this month we're reviewing, Dutch Mantel said Barb Armstrong. So it's not just me. It's not just me with the slip of the tongue. I just don't remember if I wrote it down. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned it while I was thinking about it. He said Barb Armstrong. My wife doesn't even know who Bob Armstrong is, but I described him to her and told her the Barb Armstrong like it's like a lady that looks just like him, like the perm and she was like, "That's fucking
lunch lady."
She was like, "That's fucking funny." She didn't. I mean, I showed her a picture of Bob Armstrong, but she doesn't fucking know Bob Armstrong. Shit from Shinola, Bob Armstrong. I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be a lady looks just like him."
Barb Armstrong is either a lunch lady or a lady cop from like the 70s.
Or a bus driver.
Too. A bus driving lady cop.
That teaches also. And keeps cigarettes in that little pocket on her shirt. All right.
Yeah.
Then we have Down and Dirty with Dutch Mantel. His guests this week are Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden. Of course, they're going to be hyping their match coming up with the Rock and Rolls at Fire on the Mountain. Robert Fuller tells a story about how he got 2 new ponies. And he named one of them Ricky and one of them Robert. And he kicked him around. And he kicked him around and slapped him around, these stupid little ponies. And later on, they came up to him and they laid at his lap. And it was like they were saying, "I love you." And that's what the Rock and Roll Express is going to do. I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but it was funny. Like,
yes.
You're saying the Rock and Roll Express, you're going to beat him. Like,
he's going to beat him into submission.
Yeah. Beat him so bad they'll fall in love with you.
Either way.
Like Mike Tyson.
Whatever works.
I'll fuck you till you love me.
Yeah. I'll eat
Jesus Christ. I don't know who's a more scary human being in their prime, Mike Tyson or Brock Lesnar.
Mike Tyson. Brock Lesnar isn't crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he might be a little crazy, but he's not fucking psychotic. You're right. Fair point. So any more on that promo there from the stud stable?
No.
We get footage recapping the Fantastics and the Heavenly Bodies feud as they're going into their barbed wire match at Fire on the Mountain. And then Jim Cornette and the Bodies do a promo about barbed wire. And as an example of what's going to happen to the Fantastics, they use tomatoes. I also like the touch of Tom Pritchard having like the big vulture glove on.
Yeah. And like basically I like he's got the one tomato and he's like, this is how fat and round it looks like. It looks like Bobby's face and shit like that. Yeah, it's funny.
He also said it's something to the effect of, are tomatoes fruits or vegetables? And Cornette said maybe these guys are fruits that will turn into vegetables.
Yeah. He said they're fruits that will turn into vegetables. And he said, this tomato, this was Jackie because it's rotten. And he like pushed his little finger on the nasty part of it. Yeah. It was a good, effective, fun promo.
The next segment is a very ECW segment out of Smoky Mountain. And the reason I say that is it's supposed to be Brian Lee versus Gary Scott. Brian Lee wins the match quickly. And then for no reason, the Stormtrooper comes out, attacks Brian Lee. And then also Paul Lee comes out with the Dirty White Boy and attacks Brian Lee. And after those two miserably fail at doing anything to Brian Lee, the Dirty White Boy gets in the ring with Brian Lee, and then it becomes a match. Yeah, and I wrote down, this is very ECW from Smoky Mountain, right? This is ECW before ECW, because this sounded like something that would happen on an ECW show.
Yeah, like, what is happening?
Yeah, how did this become a match?
There's no explanation. Well, I mean, they tried to explain it because they said Mark Curtis said ring the bell, and the referee has the autonomy or whatever to start a wrestling match when he wants to. And that's never been brought up before. Like, what is happening?
But yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that kind of thought that. But yes, then Brian Lee and the Dirty White Boy proceed to have a match a few minutes. Like, I don't know. It would have, I don't want to harp on it, but it would have been more effective if it was like, if they didn't do the silly thing to make it a match, just make it a fight. And then instead of Brian Lee like pinning Dirty White Boy, is getting his ass beat so bad he begs off. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm just leaving. I don't know. That would have been more effective to me. I don't know.
It wasn't even really that good of a match. It was kind of clunky, and the finish sucked. It was just like whatever, but it happened, and Brian Lee pinned the Dirty White Boy.
Next week on the show, there's going to be a $5,000 4-team elimination match. I wrote down there's some local promos here, but much like I said earlier, I'm bad about writing anything down actually from those promos, so I don't know if you had anything from the local promos.
No, they were just the same ones.
Oh, okay.
From previous.
And then we have at the end a promo, Bob Caudle interviewing Jackie and Bobby Fulton about the upcoming barbed wire match. And they're not using tomatoes. They're using paper.
Yeah, because they're paper champions.
Here's your dad joke from Bobby Fulton. But the fact that they did the tomato thing and the paper thing, it's effective visuals to hype a barbed wire match. I'm not going to say that doesn't have an effect. So that being said, I think that for the matches that they discussed and the matches that they hyped, this first show did a good job of hyping up Fire on the Mountain.
I feel so as well.
So the next episode, August 8th, 1992, as we go to Fire on the Mountain, is going to be the next thing after this. This is, I think it might be the last show of this taping as well. Bob Caudle and Dutch Mantell do an intro. They talk about the 4-team elimination tag match coming up later on. And that is going to involve Oh, for fuck's
It's going to
sake.
involve the stud stables,
Stables.
Nitro Danny Davis, and Dixie Dynamite, the Heavenly Bodies, and the Full.
And the first match on the show is Hector Guerrero against Paul Lee. And I wrote down, I don't know why I wrote it down. Something must have triggered it in my head. I mean, other than the big fucking sombrero, but I just put down Hector Guerrero is they just have him as a walking stereotype. Like everything about him is just a stereotype.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling made me not a fan of Hector Guerrero. Like he was like the least Guerrero that I liked anyway, but like even now it's like every time he's on I like it even less. The big stupid hat and his fucking noisemaker, and
that's what it was. It's because I didn't write it down, but yeah, he had the fucking noisemaker thing and and then the move, they call the move the jalapeno roll. It's like, Jesus Christ,
all he does is a bunch of somersaults and shit. It's like, I could go without Hector Guerrero. Probably a nice guy. Just, I don't know.
The least impressive
Not a
of
fan.
the Guerrero brothers.
Not a fan.
Best thing he ever was Lasertron.
Well, he beat Paul Lee, so.
Yes, he defeats Paul Lee. Then we get a promo about the tag match from pretty much everybody. Cuts a promo.
The only thing I wrote of the notes is the stud stable talks about how they're both 6'4", and say that they pretty much tower over everybody else, and then Robert Fuller says, "I have no problem beating the Keeblers tonight." Just keeps calling them the Keeblers. I think it's funny.
Yeah, that match is coming up. We get highlights of the Dixie Dynamite Killer Kyle feud. Which is ironically one of the best things going in Smoky Mountain right now.
Yes.
Bob
tries to interview Killer Kyle, and he doesn't say anything except rips up a Confederate flag. It's like Killer Kyle's like the baby face.
And Bob Cottle says
racism and hate. Weird, man.
No, he doesn't say it's weird. This time he used the word spooky.
Oh yeah, he's spooky.
This guy's spooky.
Spooky.
Yeah. Everything about Killer Kyle's great. Even Bob Cottle's adjectives.
Yeah. Spooky, man.
I like your adjectives, Bob Cottle. Spooky, weird man.
He's been in the business for 30 fucking years. And just been
nobody's ever gotten
all this shit's happened around him and everything, and then he just gets to Smoky Mountain, and this guy is like the guy that trips him up.
He's like, I was around the Purple Haze.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one though, this guy, man, he's weird, he's spooky.
This is the one's got me.
Okay, Down and Dirty. Oh yeah, okay, we get highlights of the Paul Orndorff stuff. Down and Dirty with Dutch. He has Bob Armstrong, and I love how he kind of kisses at Bob's ass when he's right in front of him.
Oh yeah, it's like, you've been making a lot of decisions. I've agreed with every single one of them. You're doing a great job. But
it was almost
like
a Bobby Heenan style delivery, when Bobby Heenan talks a bunch of shit until somebody's in his right in front of him, and he's like, "Oh no, I want to talk about you."
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
He's talking about
now the fans. Yeah, he's like, now the fans, they have some questions for us.
Yeah,
these are from the fans, and the fans are questioning Bob siding with the baby faces and leaning towards fan favorites, and obviously Bob Armstrong isn't buying it, but he goes along with it and points out that he's not favoring the baby faces.
And also through these episodes right now, Dutch Mantel is doing a cigar gimmick. He's got a cigar.
Yes.
That he's chomping on. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. He's like, he talks all this shit in the booth, and then Armstrong's your friend. He's like, you've been making a lot of decisions. I agree with every single one of them.
I agree with every single one. You're doing a great job, Bob.
Yeah, fucking glad handed him. And then we have the 4-team $5,000 non-title elimination match. The Fantastics, Dixie Dynamite, Nitro, Danny Davis. He used to be the Nightmare. Now he's Nitro. The Heavenly Bodies and the Stud Stable.
Yes. Rules of the match are simple. It's a 4-team, like you said, elimination tag team match. If 2 men are on the same team and they get tagged both at the same time or whatever, they have to face each other or they're disqualified. And if you refuse a tag, you're disqualified.
I didn't think. I don't know if they cut this up or not, but I didn't think it was long enough to be effective.
I felt like it was dragging.
Oh, really?
I thought. Yeah.
All right, we watched it in different mindsets apparently.
He's wound up in there having to face one another. The Bodies end up eliminating the Fultons when Dr. Tom, I believe it was Dr. Tom, puts the object on his boot and kicks Jackie in the head and eliminates them illegally. And then the Bodies end up getting eliminated by Dixie Dynamite and Nitro Danny Davis when Bobby hits Sweet Stan with the tennis racket from behind, allowing Danny Davis to pin Stan. And then it goes a little bit longer, and this is where I feel like it kind of drug a little bit because the Dixie Dynamite and Danny Davis are selling for the stud stable, but they're the little engines that could trying to get through it. Danny Davis blades. They end up beating down Dixie Dynamite, and Robert Gibson runs out to attack the stud stable, causing the disqualification, and the stud stable wins the $5,000. I don't know. I just thought the match, you wanted it to go longer. I thought it went too long, in my opinion, especially towards the end of it.
Like I said, we must have been just watching it in different mindsets. But, and then this show ends with Bob Caudle interviewing the stud stable on their victory and their upcoming match with the Rock and Roll Express.
Yes.
And this leads us to Fire on the Mountain, which took place on August 8th, 1992 in Johnson City, Tennessee. And I think it's funny that on the big shows, even they host the TV show, but on the big shows, Bob Caudle and Dutch Mantell are nowhere to be found.
Well, Dutch wrestled, not on the tape.
Okay.
There's 3 dark matches. Danny Davis beat Joe Kazana. Dutch Mantell beat Hector Guerrero, and Killer Kyle.
Because he called him a stupid Mexican. They had him a match.
Crazy Mexican. Yeah. And then Killer Kyle beat Dixie Dynamite in their tape fist boxing match. That's how that happened.
Which they must.
And then
they must be going to play that on television. Because don't they in the upcoming episodes talk about those guys having an upcoming boxing match?
I guess maybe they did more than I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
No, I'm not saying you.
No, I'm saying maybe this was just a tape fist match, but I know this had tape involved in it somehow, from what I read. But yeah, Killer Kyle beat Dixie Dynamite. It's like Dixie Dynamite keeps getting his ass beat and then complaining that Killer Kyle's beating him up, but then he just won't leave Killer Kyle alone. Like, just fucking leave him alone. You'll be all right.
Just stay away from him, man. He's spooky. He's weird.
Yeah, he's spooky, man.
Spooky dookie. So the opening match on the tape for Fire on the Mountain, Buddy Landell and Tim Horner in their I Quit match. And this match is the most annoying type of I Quit match because somebody's got a microphone. The referee.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like I don't know.
It depends on. Oh, good.
I guess I'm not thinking of it in the right mindset because I'm thinking of like a submission match with I quit. You have to say I quit, and that's the whole gimmick and everything. But I just always find it annoying that somebody's got a microphone sticking it in the wrestlers' faces, and they're like, "No, no." I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at this day and age, you don't really need it because of how television is. But back in the day, you kind of needed it just so you knew what, like, the fans in the arena could know what was going on.
Point taken. Point taken.
And if you got the right kind of heel, like a Buddy Landell, that can like utilize it as like a way to talk shit. You know what I mean? During the match to get crowd heat, that works.
But like that one with Piper with Brett and Backlund. Where's say?
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, God. Shh.
Brett even mentions that in his book. That Piper being involved in it ruined it because of how annoying he was on the microphone.
I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Maybe I'll come back to it. It was because this has nothing to do with Smoky Mountain or anything, but I to tell the story because of somebody like saying something loudly. All right, so yesterday I had a bit of a fall. Tripped. I had a trip and fall. Fell backwards. And I'm pretty sure I know I did. I bruised my tailbone. Okay. Are you there?
You're cutting it out.
So the other day I tripped backwards over something, right?
Yeah.
Fell on my ass. I didn't break my tailbone. I know I didn't break it because it's not that bad, but I did definitely bruise it because like for the past couple of days to be able to like even bend over or anything, I have to do like a weird like ballet pose and shit. Like I can't like my ass been a literal pain in the ass. But it was funny today because I went to pick something up at work and I had to like do that or whatever. And I thought of Pete Rose. It's like I sent Bill Buckner tickets, but he couldn't bend over to pick them up. How about it?
How about it? How about it?
How about it? I don't know. I thought about that shit when I couldn't bend over to pick it up. Everything comes back to fucking wrestling. All right. Anyway, Tim Horner, Buddy Landell, I quit match. Your notes?
This match is clipped up, obviously. Landell selling his leg, Horner selling his neck and back, which I thought was weird, seeing as though Buddy Landell's finisher is the figure four, but whatever. Like I said earlier, Landell's doing the Jerry Lawler bit where he's cutting the promo while he's beating up the wrestler or fighting him. Horner traps on a sharpshooter, but Landell ends up escaping that by crawling all the way, like, while the hold is applied, crawling all the way to the outside of the ring. Landell ends up trapping on the figure four, but Horner won't give up. And then I apologize. I failed to write down the finish. I think Horner got his own figure four.
Yes. No, he got that Indian Deathlock thing.
Oh yeah. Indian Deathlock, and got Buddy Landell to. He didn't say I quit. He said yes. So, but technically he didn't say I quit. He just said yes. But that's how the match ends. And I just put that it was a decent enough match, but it wasn't really anything special.
I agree. I don't think the two of them have much chemistry, really. I mean, but who could have chemistry with? How about it?
How about it?
But yeah, I agree with you. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't anything where I'm like, I'm gonna have to watch that again sometime soon.
Yeah. If I never see it again, I'll be okay.
Up next, Paul Orndorff cuts a promo on Ronnie Garvin. Orndorff essentially, he's the master of the pile driver. He's hit the pile driver on every major star in pro wrestling. And tonight, Ronnie Garvin's up shit creek because Paul Orndorff's the man. Is essentially the gist of the interview. I did put here as they're being introduced. I think this ring announcer just says everybody's from Atlanta, Georgia. Because he introduces Orndorff from Atlanta, Georgia, and then he introduces Ron Garvin from Atlanta, Georgia, and neither of them are from Atlanta, Georgia. I think later on he introduces somebody else's from it. I don't know. I had it in my mind that this ring announcer just says everybody's from Atlanta. He doesn't even try. From Atlanta, Georgia, and Killer Kyle. From Atlanta, Georgia, Dixie Dynamite.
From Atlanta, Georgia, Hector Guerrero.
From Atlanta, Georgia, the Stormtrooper. This guy everybody's from Atlanta. But yeah, it's Orndorff and Ron. And there was something else that made me laugh about this match. It's Orndorff and Garvin in their pile driver match. I also like the fact that they both felt the need to get on the mic and talk to some shit to each other before the match started.
Yeah.
I don't know why
I
was
get
so
the crowd to do
it.
Fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. Like these two fuckers are so they've already cut promos in the back, but they felt the need to come out and fucking tell them to their face before they kick their ass. There was a lot of funny. There was a lot of sorry. I was amused by a lot of the beginning of this segment.
And Les Thatcher, who how do I say it? I don't think Les Thatcher is not one of my favorite commentators. Okay, I think he's kind of boring, but he makes a good point in this match, like on commentary, that these guys might have not, how do I say it, like every big name superstar that you want to talk to in the business at some point has had interaction and been in the ring with one or both of these guys. Like these guys have beaten the shit out of everybody in every big name you can think of in the professional wrestling business. Yeah. These guys at one point have beat the shit out of them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I liked the fact that he's like putting them over as these two rugged veterans that are like dangerous in the business. And if you ask anybody, they'll tell you like you don't want to fuck with Paul Orndorff or rugged Ronnie Garvin. And you can tell me I'm completely wrong if you want to say it, but I think Ronnie Garvin actually looks like in better shape than he did when he was in the WWF, like his last televised run. He looks better than he did in WWF in 89?
Yeah, he does. He does. He looks he looks, yeah, you're right. He's like in better, what do I say? He looks like he's been better fighting shape, I guess.
Yeah.
And he and first of all, I wrote down here after they jaw jacked each other before the match in this arena, this match had some fucking heat.
Oh yeah, these people were into fucking Ronnie Garvin, man.
Yeah,
Paul Orndorff at this point, until Ricky Morton showed up, is probably the most, I don't want to say like most big, like mainstream guy they had that had just been on TV, and you know what I mean. I'm not knocking anybody else, but yeah, like Paul's a big deal at this point.
And you know they have a good knockdown drag, as Brett would say, a knockdown drag out. And I don't know, I wasn't a big fan. I guess I wasn't a big fan of the ending, but the feud's also gonna be continuing.
Yeah, the end was a cheap finish. One thing I did like about the match though was that like every other spot wasn't one of them trying to pile drive the other one.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like, oh, he reversed that pile driver. Oh, he reversed that pile driver. They sold it as like they know they can't just go out there and hit the pile driver right away. That's why it's a finisher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you could just hit the pile driver right away and beat a guy, why wouldn't you do it all the time? Like it's gonna take 30 minutes before you can get the guy into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. The psychology was solid.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you have too many falls in a Iron Man match. It's like if you could just pin the guy that quick why wouldn't you be able to pin him that quick all the time?
Right.
Yeah. But like you said, the finish of the match is kind of shit. Mark Curtis ends up getting bumped while Paul Orndorff is trying to hit a pile driver, and Orndorff ends up using brass knucks on Ronnie Garvin, and then picks Mark Curtis up, convinces him that he hit the pile driver. Curtis goes for the
Just
bell, but then go ahead.
just I was gonna say Curtis just believes him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
okay.
believes him. So then Danny Davis though comes out and tries to stooge off Paul Orndorff. But he ends up getting pile drove.
He gets
and then
my notes say Danny
gets what he
Davis
deserves.
well, I was gonna say Danny Davis comes out and tries to help, but he gets a pile driver for his troubles.
Yeah, he gets what he deserves. Mind your own business, little fella. He gets pile drove, and then Mark Curtis ends up for some reason like changing his mind and not believing Paul Orndorff. And I think because he raises Ronnie Garvin's hands, so I'm assuming Ronnie Garvin won, and I'm assuming it's by disqualification. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know either. That's
It
why
was
I
a,
said
it was a it was a good match until the finish.
it was a good match until the finish, and Mark Curtis looks like a moron.
Yeah. And I love me some Jim Cornette, and I love Smoky Mountain Wrestling, but there's been some finishes in this thing where it's pretty questionable. And it's like, I don't know if that was Jim's idea or whoever, but it was like, that is not a good finish. Anyway, that's how that went.
Sometimes this promotion I notice, and Cornette's a territory guy or likes the territories, but I notice that sometimes this promotion books stuff that's recorded like the territories used to do stuff that wasn't recorded, if that makes sense. Like the Memphis shows at the Memphis show at the Coliseum, those main events always have a fuck finish because you want everybody to come back next week. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like nothing ever actually gets resolved until somebody's about to leave the territory.
This thing made no sense in my opinion.
Well, Ronnie Garvin gets interviewed after the match, and he's pissed off. He's gonna get Paul Orndorff.
It's probably more confused than anything.
I don't know what was going on. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
What do you think of that match, Ronnie? I have no fucking idea what happened.
I think the referee is also from Atlanta, Georgia.
My hand got raised. My little brother came out. He tried to help. He got to beat up.
Hand to God, I don't know what the fuck happened.
I just need to get back to Atlanta, Georgia.
Because I'm a man of the South. Ricky and Robert are interviewed. Ricky is still on, he's made a bunch of mistakes.
Yeah, he says it. I made a lot of mistakes.
Made a lot of mistakes, man. It's like watching Jake Roberts, for Christ's sake. I've made a lot of mistakes and I'm trying to make up for it. 5 minutes later, Jake was passed out.
Jake called us up and asked us he would not do the show unless we got him some crap.
No, don't drink the piss, Jake. Don't drink the piss.
Was that chocolate or something off of us?
God. Okay. I am not in a serious mood tonight. Okay.
My favorite, other than the chocolate or something off of one of the funniest scenes in that entire documentary involves Jake, and it's when he's pissing in that trough, and he just looks at the camera and just gives him like this shrug of, "Hey, I don't know either, guys." This is ridiculous.
And he's like, "You caught me pissing, huh?"
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Express and the Stud Stable
Yes, this is my favorite thing going on the show. This was like I put in there. This is my main event.
What did you think?
Um, I like the fact that I mean, stud table comes out, and then Rock and Roll Express come out to Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger. The stud stable jumpstart the match, but the Rock and Roll they get the upper hand. And you're talking about Paul Orndorff or whatever being like over with the crowd or what, you know what I mean? But like, or them being into that, the fucking people were jacked for this shit, man. Like, this is the loudest I've seen like a Smoky Mountain crowd since the fucking promotion started. And this is where I was saying like it's really starting to kind of these guys reuniting. I think is like where it's gonna start hitting its stride and hitting like the big time. You know what I mean? I don't want to say
Yeah.
big time, but like the Rock and Roll Express being there makes it like this is something. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that makes
Yeah,
sense or not,
absolutely.
but
There people can disagree with me or not. I don't think many people would disagree with me, but when you think about the 1980s and the early, or let's just say the 1980s, the 1980s in professional wrestling in the South, the Rock and Roll Express are one of the four that you would put on the Mount Rushmore of Southern wrestling in
yeah,
the 80s. They are
yeah, and the,
one of the
okay.
biggest acts in Southern wrestling in their era, in their time.
Yeah,
So
and it's
having them in Smoky Mountain is nothing but it's like getting fucking Hulk Hogan.
yeah, or I was gonna say for it's like it's a totally different thing, but it's the equivalent of like ECW pulling off getting Terry Funk. You know what I mean?
hmm hmm
Like this guy's legitimizing that this is a big company or this is somewhere you want to go. And if you put the Rock and Roll Express on your poster or on your marquee, you're gonna get fucking people to come out there. Um,
although one thing I will say, I am disappointed that it's stupid. But I am disappointed that once Ricky comes back or Ricky comes back to reunite with Robert, they don't use Rock and Roll as King.
and they might later on. I don't. They change it up as a team a lot, so that might be part of it. But yeah, um, but yeah, like I said, it was cool seeing them come out to that, and then you just kind of answered the question I was going to ask was do you think the Rock and Roll Express is one of the best like non WWE or I don't even say non like because they did work. They did work there, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, yeah. The Rock and Roll Express is the biggest. Like, obviously, again, like I said earlier, somebody Jim Cornette could probably tell me people that were bigger draws and shit in the 1970s, but just to me, talking about the 1980s in Southern wrestling, they're Mount Rushmore. They're my third favorite tag team of all time. Um, they are to me the best babyface tag team of all time. Because even though Demolition and Heart Foundation rank above them for me as my top two, if I'm choosing out of the three teams who's the best babyface team, to me, Rock and Roll Express is the best babyface tag team ever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, somebody could dispute that and say somebody else, but I'd say they are.
I feel like I agree. And then Ricky Morton ends up getting busted open by Jimmy Golden. Um, and one thing I was just curious on when I was watching it at this time, because I was like, man, Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden were awesome. You know,
Mm-hmm.
why I was like, part of me wishes they wouldn't have went to WCW because not that I didn't like Colonel Parker and Bunkhouse Buck, but you know what I mean. Like anyway, like they were even better as non-character babyface or non-character or non-gimmick heels, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then I was just curious, and this is 1992, and I know when I say it now, it's going to sound funny because age is different. But Robert Fuller was 41 and Jimmy Golden was 42. So I'm like, I can understand now why they went.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know,
payday.
And that business at that time, 41 and 42, you're getting kind of considered old. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, especially if you're Jimmy Golden, because Robert Fuller, fuck it, I'll go there, be a referee, and add fucking, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years in my run. Whereas, like, I don't know. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Jimmy Golden was probably like, if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna get it.
Right.
I'll never be able to say I was in WCW or WWF. So I might as well fucking go. You know,
Yep.
make that
And then
money.
and then time goes on. He gets to watch his son Jack Swagger
Yeah, become the world champion.
become the world champion. Anyway, but yes, this
And then
is
we
a.
get. Oh,
I was just gonna say this is a good Southern style tag team match.
and there's some miscommunication, and it leads to Fuller getting or Golden getting double drop kicked, but Fuller breaks up the pin, and then both Golden and um, Gibson get knocked out in the middle of the ring. Golden's on top of Gibson, but Rookie Morton rolls in after he kicks out Robert Fuller and switches him around. So Gibson's on top of Jimmy Golden, and he gets the 1, 2, 3. So the Rock and Roll Express win their their first reunited match together. I thought it was really, really good, and I did like the fact too. And um, I wouldn't have ever seen Ricky Morton probably wouldn't ever did it anyway. But I did like the fact that they avoided the uh, temptation of having Ricky Morton get the pin because he just came back. Because it was like this started as Robert Gibson and Jimmy Golden, and those guys were putting in the work of the feud. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So they
Yeah.
let Gibson get the pin, and I just really enjoyed the match, and I liked the ending. And
And then after the
it
match, the
can
heels
continue.
get their heat back.
Yeah, so the feud can continue to go on, which I enjoy. I just really
Um,
liked the match.
and to put some stank on the fact that the feud's not over. After the match, we have an interview at the stud stable, and Fuller essentially says, you guys may have got the pretty much. I'm not quoting him. You guys may have got the victory in the books, but who was the ones left laying out there?
Yeah, they
So
had a
that was,
break in continuity though. I don't know if you noticed it.
I did not.
But the Brian Matthews guy or whoever the interviewer,
Mm-hmm.
he says that because the stud stable comes into the locker room, and he says fresh coming straight out of the arena, it's the stud stable, and Jimmy Golden is wearing black trunks, and in the match he was wearing his um pastel blue tights. It's like, oh, what is that?
Oopsie, yeah, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I did.
After
It's not a
that,
big deal, but
we get an interview with Ron Wright and the Dirty White Boy talking about the upcoming title versus if obviously if Brian Lee loses, he loses the title, but if Dirty White Boy loses, he has to leave the territory. Ron Wright, he has been in the hospital because he's been so nervous, and they had to give him a morphine shot just for him to be able to get to the arena tonight.
he's got a heart machine now, like a heart monitor. He's got to carry around.
And all he wants is he don't want his boy to have to leave the area because he wants him to be able to get money for the operation for his hip.
Yes.
I just like I don't know why. I know that like it's funny that all the illnesses like the heart attacks and the blah blah blah. But I think it's like the most funny one is the lowest key one when he's just like, I've been so nervous.
Oh, yeah.
I just
nervous wreck.
I just been nervous wreck. Yeah, to give me morphine for me to get to the arena tonight. Yeah, God, guy's a fucking he's a national treasure.
Well, hopefully everything's not going to bottom out on him because he's put all his efforts and time into this. And it's going to be the career versus championship match between the two homegrown Atlanta boys, the Dirty White Boy and Primetime Brian Lee. And I mean, I don't know how many notes you have on the match, but
I don't have a ton of notes on the match. I did put down that I oh okay I have one note there. They go outside the ring at one point, and as they're going around the ring, there's a fan that just randomly, like they're like white boys like pummeling Brian Lee or whatever, and they come around this corner, and the camera picks up this fan just go, white boy likes to cheat. But anyway,
I do. Yeah, yeah, I
sure
do.
do. I sure do.
Makes life easier.
But no, I mean the match was fine for what it was.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Ron Wright, he just at one point supplies a chain to the dirty white boy, but that doesn't work. And then I'm assuming I didn't write down, but I'm assuming there's a ref bump because I know that Brian Lee hits the cancellation and then the crazy fat unknown mystery man comes out and attacks Brian Lee, and the dirty white boy rolls over and gets the 1, 2, 3.
No, the ref didn't go down. The ref Ron Wright trips him and then is holding his feet.
Oh, I got you.
And I think later on either here on this or one of the shows, he says some explanation for like, I was trying to help the referee with his shoe or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yes. The white boy is now the new Smoky Mountain heavyweight champ.
And that's a
Ron Wright for Ron Wright. Yes. And for all of us involved.
Yes.
Yay, nay, or indifferent to the title run of Brian Lee?
Indifferent. Me
too.
He was probably the right guy at the for that first championship because he was the baby face that Cornette had that the fans you can't deny that he was over.
Yeah.
So
he was big, blonde. Chicks were gonna dig him.
Yeah. No, he was the right choice to be the first champion, but it's time to move on.
Yes, it is. It probably would have been a totally different story if he would have got Brad. It probably would have lasted a little longer, but
or if he'd have had Tracy Smothers earlier.
Yeah.
Like a duck on a June bug.
Yeah, Brian Lee was the right choice at the time, and it is now time to move on because we've established that the dirty white boy's there and he's sticking around, and we've seen the debut of the mystery man.
Which, in the interview after the match, Brian Lee he says, that big freak hit me.
Yeah. So, to me, it's kind of freaky. And black eyes and a little tuft of hair on the top of his head. It was a crazy looking fella. So, anyway.
Looked like a fat Tijo Khan. Okay, so the next match here is our Smoky Mountain Tag Team Championship barbed wire cage match that I was kind of let down by, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I don't know. It was what it was. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that it wasn't really a cage. It was more like a fucking chicken coop.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't anything great either.
No, I was just, like I said, no. I'm by no means saying it was bad. I was kind of let down by it as far as like the hype versus what the match itself was. I think actually these teams have had better matches without the gimmick involved,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think the structure of what the build, like the construction of the structure, that sounds a weird way to say it, I think hindered them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like, if it would have been like an actual cage with maybe some barbed wire at the top, they could have maybe did more with it.
Bob Armstrong's the referee. And it's really just, it's a however long it lasted, it's a brawl inside the barbed wire. They get the barbed wire involved a couple of times. They get the Barb Armstrong involved a couple of times. But in the end, unless you had any other matches or any other notes on the match, Jim Cornette throws his racket over the top of the cage to Tom Pritchard, but Bob Armstrong takes the racket from Pritchard, which distracts him and allows Bobby Fulton to pin Tom Pritchard. And the Fantastics are the new Smoky Mountain Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, it's the gist of it. And like I said, it wasn't anything that was real crazy, and like I said, it wasn't offensive, but it wasn't anything where I'm like, oh man, that was fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the Rock and Roll and the Studs Table was a much better match and more exciting in my opinion. So,
I agree. Had any other
and Orndorff and Garvin, you know what I mean? To me, those were the two best matches on the show.
Yeah, Orndorff and Garvin was like I agreed with you actually that was the only thing that wasn't good about that was pretty much the weird, ending of it. And everybody knows I'm not the biggest Ronnie Garvin fan, but I really enjoyed that match actually.
Yeah.
And that we are in agreement on this show of what the two best matches were because I agree with you.
Good, as you should.
So after Fire on the, I think there's a promo at the end. Cornette and the Bodies. They're gonna sue to get a rematch. Essentially, is what I wrote down in my notes. So that feud is also not over. This event was a big event, but it has ended nothing.
Barb's crooked.
Yeah, Barb's crooked. Oh, Barb's crooked. Oh, bitch. Yeah. So the next show. There's a lot of recapping, obviously, of Fire on the Mountain during this show, but
yes,
the next Smoky Mountain TV episode is August 15th, 1992, and Bob Caudle and Dutch Mantell do our intro, of course, and then we get to talk to, of course. We see footage of the Smoky Mountain Championship match between Brian Lee and Dirty White Boy from Fire on the Mountain. Then we get an interview. Bob Caudle interviews Ron Wright and the new champion, the Dirty White Boy. Ron Wright doesn't know who the mystery man was. Probably a drunk fan fed up with Brian Lee.
Yeah, he said that he wasn't even concerned with that because he didn't even know that was going on because as that was happening, he was having heart complications because he was so nervous about the match that he didn't even notice the outside. He had no idea that even happened.
I was having a heart attack. What?
Basically, he said, "Yeah, I didn't even know that was happening."
That's where he said when I said I couldn't remember what he said or why he had the referee by the foot. He was distracting the referee. He said he grabbed he didn't trip the referee. He was trying to get the referee's attention so he could call an ambulance. That's what it was because he was having a heart attack. I couldn't remember why he said he had the referee by the foot, but he was like, I was trying to get him to call an ambulance because I was having a heart attack.
All right. Well, then Dirty White Boy claims he has no idea who that guy was either. And he's going to be a fighting champion. And so that's what's going on with that. And then Bob Armstrong comes out and he says that he'll take them at their word or whatever. They didn't know who the mystery man was, but if he finds out they had anything to do with it, he'll strip the Dirty White Boy of the.
And then I put down we have local promos.
Nothing really in there.
Okay. Bob Caudle with Tim Horner. He wants to challenge the Dirty White Boy. He wants to throw his hat in the ring, and he just wants an opportunity. He just wants an opportunity. He's from this part of the country. And I think it's the next episode or something where Dutch Mantell's like, so it's just because he's from here, he's allowed to get the championship match. He's like, if I'm
Texas, I'm from Texas, I just go fight the Texas champion.
Just because he's from here, he can get a title match. It's just funny. But yeah, Tim Horner wants a shot at the Dirty White Boy. We get highlights of the Heavenly Bodies Smoky Mountain Tag Team Championship match. The chicken coop of death. What are you gonna get in the chicken coop? Are you gonna get into the chicken coop of death, or are you gonna buck down? Sorry, everybody. I think then they just replay the promos from the end of the videotape, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Down and Dirty with Dutch. His guest is Killer Kyle. But now Killer Kyle has Jim Cornette as his mouthpiece. Actually, it was kind of weird the way Cornette put it. He said, I'm here. I will now be interpreting his feelings.
I did like the fact that he was like, everybody says that Killer Kyle doesn't talk to nobody. He doesn't say anything to anybody. How can you think that's weird? Have you ever met anybody here you wanted to have a conversation with, Dutch? Like, I wouldn't talk to these people either. But now I'm going to interpret his feelings.
But they're talking about how the boxing match
is where
coming
they're yeah, the boxing match. Which, like I said, I think the last one was a tape fist match. So this is going to be a boxing match.
And they randomly bring out Mike Sampson, and he's going to hold a board for Killer Kyle. And I think it says it's like the best Tennessee oak or something. I don't know. But it goes better. It goes better. It goes better for him. It goes better for Killer Kyle than it did for old What's-His-Face with Blassie.
Killer Khan?
No, Tiger Chung Lee.
Oh yeah, Tiger Chung Lee
on the TNT thing. It goes better for
hit the bricks.
Yeah, hit the brick, but they didn't break. Blassie fucking
actual bricks.
Yeah, you fucking idiot. Yeah, the only thing that breaks in that segment is Blassie. But yeah, Killer Kyle he punches the boards, breaks the board, and essentially Cornette says that Dixie Dynamite's going to be broken into like the piece of trash that he is.
Yes.
Again, one of the better things about Smoky Mountain Wrestling is this rivalry.
Yes.
Now Bob Caudle is standing by with Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
He's still pissed off.
He's still mad. Fucking mad as a hornet.
He can't use his pile driver. He can't understand it. And then he gets interrupted by Bob Armstrong, and Bob Armstrong questions if Paul Orndorff had anything to do with the unknown man attacking Brian Lee, and Paul Orndorff basically says he did. He doesn't give a shit enough about it to even have anybody get involved.
That's not even something I'm thinking about, man.
Yeah.
But yes, so they're doing a little conspiracy thing here that about who put they're gonna literally next week we're gonna have a wanted poster, who put the hit out on Brian Lee, so that's the who done it in Smoky Mountain right now. Who hired Fat Tijo Khan to attack Brian Lee? Might be the first time I've ever got to bring up Tijo Khan on this podcast, so I'm pretty happy about it.
And it's not even him.
No, it's not. I just think dude looks like Fat Tijo Khan. But anyway, Bob Caudle does an interview with the Rock and Roll Express talking about the stud stable and what went down at I keep wanting to say pay-per-view, but it wasn't a pay-per-view, but at Fire on the Mountain. They're not satisfied with what happened. They're going to want a rematch. And Ricky Morton says he's made some mistakes in his life. He's made a lot of mistakes. You know what I want to do? I want him to be like, I made a lot of mistakes in my life. And then Danny Davis comes in and goes, well, you can fix that.
I made a lot of mistakes too.
And now I'm not.
I made a lot of I used to make a lot of mistakes too. Like going by the name The Nightmare, but now I'm Nitro. Not Nightmare.
Not Nightmare. Nitro.
It's just a simple name change can change everything for you, Ricky.
Shit.
It's a simple name change and a haircut.
But I made a lot of mistakes.
Then made a lot of mistakes. Well, then we get the one match of the night, or at least on this show. It's the Smoky Mountain Championship. The Dirty White Boy defending against Dixie Dynamite. Which
Dynamite.
Dixie Dynamite should not even get a championship match. He hasn't won a match.
He's from here,
All
though.
he's been doing is fighting Killer Kyle, and Killer Kyle has beat the guy like
He's
every
using
match
it.
they've had.
They're using that Tim Horner logic. He gets a match because he's from here.
Yeah. But he ends up having the match, and it looks like he's doing okay. But then Killer Kyle comes out and whacks him in the knee with a billy club, and he ends up getting beat by the Dirty White Boy, who's still your Smoky Mountain heavyweight champion.
And once again, the awesome feud between Killer Kyle and Dixie Dynamite continues.
I just like how one-sided it is. Like Dixie Dynamite has gotten nothing over on the fucking Killer Kyle.
But that is that is August 15th, 92, Smoky Mountain TV. So we are on to August the 22nd, 1992. And this is footage. This match or this event takes place. And I put down wherever this high school is, this crowd is hot. This crowd is just hyped up for Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I know it's wrestling in the South, so they're just going to be hyped up because it's wrestling, but they are this crowd is very, very hyped up.
It's probably the first thing that's happened in their town in like 15 years too. So
Jake Roberts would be like, I could be mayor of this town.
being mayor, man.
They just make me king. Give me all the crack I want. No crack. I'm off the crack.
Oh, the cracking teenage girls that I want.
Clean myself up. I only do downers now. What is this? Chocolate or
something off of a
something off of a what, Jake? don't drink the piss.
Mike go
ahead. Mike Sampson, Tim Horner.
Mike Sampson versus Tim Horner. They talk about in the match that Tim Horner wants a Smoky Mountain title shot. Dutch Mantel mentioned earlier that the Olympics was going on, so he was going to start Olympically grading the matches. And Tim Horner hit something, and he's like, show my score. And it's a 2.3. But when they show it, Bacchus like, you rated that a 23? Like, what? No, man. It's 2.3.
That's weird, man. That's spooky.
That's weird, man. But he's like 223, and he's like, what? No, man. 2.3. What's wrong with you? But Tim Horner ends up beating Mike Sampson with the natural bridge for the 1-2-3. And then in the interview, once again, mentions that he wants a fucking title shot.
They also show footage of Tim Horner at some event.
Yeah, with charity.
For charity, and he's arm wrestling a guy.
Yeah.
And, he lets the guy win. It's all...
Well, the little kid helped him beat the guy or whatever.
It's all cute and shit.
Yeah. My make-a-wish is that you leave, Tim Horner. That is my make-a-wish.
Bob Armstrong is now in...
You smell like burritos and you try to make out with my mom. I want you to leave, Tim Horner. I don't know why
I've never met a man that smokes Virginia Slims till I met you, Tim Horner. But anyway, Bob Armstrong's in now. This is what I said earlier. Like, this person who doesn't like Brian Lee, really doesn't like Brian Lee, because they took the time to go to the Kinko's.
Yes, make a bounty poster.
And make a like Western, cowboy era style bounty poster to put out their bounty for $10,000. They probably got probably $5.50 or whatever, and $5.50 in at the Kinko's too.
Yeah. 10 grand's a lot of money in that area.
Yeah. Especially a lot of money in that area in 1992.
Oh yeah. But Brian Lee has no idea who the bounty is, who's put the bounty on him, and Bob Armstrong is disgusted because these kind of actions shouldn't happen in the Smoky Mountain Wrestling. But then there's another $10,000 coming up.
Yes, there is. Because Mama Cornette's getting involved.
Yes.
And you know shit's deep when Mama Cornette's involved.
Yes.
But she is putting up $10,000 for Jimmy and the Heavenly Bodies to win those Smoky Mountain Tag Team Championships back, and they will not lose Mama Cornette's $10,000. And I like how Tom Pritchard throws in there, we're gonna lose, we're gonna win, and we're not gonna lose Mama Cornette's $10,000 that we're not gonna spend.
Yeah, like we won't spend it either. We're gonna spend it.
Yeah, they're gonna spend it.
But then I like the fact that they were like, asked the Fultons, do you accept the $10,000 offer to put your championships up on the line? And they're like, nope, we don't. And then Bobby Fulton's like, hey man, if they're willing to offer 10, they're probably willing to offer more. Like, I like that. They were just like, nope.
Nope.
It was kind of like when Jimmy Hart gave Ronnie Garvin the $200 advance to join the First Family, and Ronnie Garvin like put it in his pocket, and then he just left. Like, he's like,
Yeah,
I'm not joining.
I'm not joining you.
Like, here's the $200 to join. He's like, sure, I'll take that $200. And he put it in his pocket, and he just walked away. And it took Jimmy Hart like for Ronnie Garvin to make it all the way through the studio to be like, wait a minute,
wait a minute, come back here, baby.
Just took my $200. These guys are just like, nah, we're good.
The next match on the show after those promos is the Heavenly Bodies against Danny Davis and Tommy Angel. And of course, the Heavenly Bodies win that matchup. Nitro, not Nightmare. Up next, we have the two Nature Boys. We have Buddy Landell and Paul Lee. And Buddy Landell says he's, tongue in cheek, wink, wink. He's been impressed with Paul Lee, and he's going to take him under his wing. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm going to use you. I'm going to use your talents. I'm going to help you.
And that's what they're going to do because they are facing the Rock and Roll Express. Then Robert Fuller, he comes out, he gets on headset. He's talking shit about the Rock and Roll Express, and he calls them keywords again, basically saying they're little midgets and they got what they deserved at the fire on the mountain. And obviously the Rock and Roll Express ended up winning that match with a double drop kick on Paul Lee, and that's how that ended.
And Robert Fuller is on commentary during this match.
Yes.
And then after the match, obviously Buddy Landell is busting Paul Lee's chops over losing to the Rock and Roll Express. Dutch Mantell then interviews the new champion, Dirty White Boy, and Ron Wright. And they get into the fact that Tim Horner is challenging or wanting to challenge the Dirty White Boy for the title. Dirty White Boy essentially says, man, you're not good enough. You're not good enough.
So he'll defend his title against anybody. Brian Lee, and he get the Heavenly Bodies,
Ricky Morton,
Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson. But Tim Horner, you're just not on that level. And then Ron Wright's just happy because now he's off generic heart pills. And he's one step closer to getting his hip surgery. That's what he's focused on.
He's not so nervous. I'm not so nervous.
Yeah. Now when I go to the farm, I can get my non-generics.
Oh man.
Remember the farm? The old pharmacy?
Yeah.
The farm.
The farm. Brian Lee then faces I didn't write down the jobber's name.
Robbie Eagle.
And of course, after this match, the Fat Tijo Khan attacks him. I know it's the Mongolian Mauler or whatever his name. Fat Tijo Khan's more fun. But the funniest part about it is when dude attacks Brian Lee, Bob Cotto goes, oh, Brian Lee attacked there by whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. So my note is, whatever it is attacks Brian Lee.
This big clump. I don't even know if we ever find out what it is. I can't remember. I know it winds up in WCW, but for a little bit. But then the main event is probably. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like it's been That's what's kind of fun too about watching these shows is I have in my life watched all of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, okay? But I haven't watched all of Smoky Mountain Wrestling in so long. There are some things like this where I'm it's fun for me because I'm like, I don't remember where this goes. I can
Yeah,
still kind of like I'm still guessing or still wondering, hey, does this go further or is this guy gone soon? Or where was some little like the Killer
yeah,
Kyle Dixie Dynamite feud? I forgot about it, and now
yeah.
I'm watching, I'm all into it.
In my mind, Ron Garvin didn't last this long, but he's
Right.
sticking
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
man. And I saw him in some thumbnails up until like September. So I'm like, okay, like he's sticking around. But this match coming up in the main event, I think might be probably the biggest main event, televised main event they've had on the show so far, I think. And
um, I'd agree. Yeah.
It's Paul Orndorff versus Ronnie Garvin once again. And you can tell me if I'm wrong. And when I say this, I want you to understand that I never thought Paul Orndorff was bad at
Hmm.
all. But I think going back and watching like wrestling from this time, and maybe I didn't know, like maybe you didn't notice, maybe I didn't notice it when I was a kid or whatever. But like 92 to like 95, at least in North America, Paul Orndorff might be one of like the best wrestlers on in North America.
I'll go even further than that. I'd say, because I mean, there is that time where like Herb Abrams shit and everything in between, like the WWF and
Yeah.
Smoky Mountain. I would go further than that and say from 1986 to 1995, he's one of the best wrestlers, or
Yeah.
in
I
North
know that.
America.
I know that. I'm just saying like at this point, like I don't think he gets talked about enough.
Mm-mm,
But
mm-mm.
like, you know what I mean? Because like he's
Yeah.
doing really good work in here, and then at like that WCW run at to the end of his career, man, he's fucking great.
Hmm. One of
He has
I
really good
don't
matches with Ron
I
Simmons, like
well,
his
I was just
feud
gonna
with
say I don't.
Cactus.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't remember which one it is. I don't remember which one it is, like, or not necessarily which one it is. I know obviously which one it is because it's the match. I don't remember which show it's on, but him and Cactus have one of him and Cactus have a match that is like I don't want to say it's one of my like top 10 favorite matches of all time. Him and Cactus have a match that is in my top 30 matches of all time, but I can't remember what fucking show it's on. But
That
anyway,
hardcore match.
yeah,
Isn't it like I think
it's so good and
it's like
so
a slam
believable.
it's like a Slamboree 93 maybe?
Maybe I know it's in '93, but I can't, and it's in probably in spring or summer, but I can't remember, or it
It's
might even
got
be on a
that
Clash.
it's got that crazy spot where Foley flips over like those three
Yes,
different
yes, yes,
guardrails. It's like
yes.
that's not humanly possible. Whatever just happened there. Like how the fuck did that work? But yeah, like I said, I just think he's like one of the best fucking dudes. And I just think he get
Mhm.
like I think I enjoyed that Paul Orndorff run better than I did the run they had, like you said, in like '86 or whatever through the WWF. I don't know. I just enjoyed it better. But anyway, this is a hard hitting match like it should be. And then at one point, Ronnie Garvin goes for the pile driver, and Mark Curtis blocks it, says no, no, no. And then Orndorff goes for it, and Mark Curtis does the same thing, but Orndorff ain't having of it, and he shoves Mark Curtis on his ass, and um, the referee disqualifies him. And then Dutch Mantel's like, "Oh, what did he do that for? Referee just ruined a really good match. Stupid ref."
Stupid referee.
Yeah, but that's how that ended.
And to end the show, oh, I don't have any notes on it, but I put Bob Cottle interviews an angry Ronnie Garvin.
Yeah, the only note of it was Ronnie Garvin said, like, I came in here, the people, I really appreciated it because they had people vote on who was going to be Brian Lee's partner and who they wanted it to be. And they said they wanted me because I was the toughest guy in this in the Smoky Mountain area. So I'm a Smoky Mountain boy. So I came in. He's like, I thought it was going to be one time. I'm going to go back home to my semi-retirement. And then this shit with Paul Orton. Basically, he's saying, like, I came in here to team with Brian, help him out, and go back home. But this shit with Paul Orndorff, it's got me going down. It says basically it's revigorated him, and he wants to. Said if I could, I'd pile drive Paul Orndorff forever.
We're gonna find out who the best wrestler from Atlanta, Georgia is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It was a good month, August 1992
Yes.
for Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Like I said, we do have an episode from August 29th, 92, but I want to work that into September just because we did have a big show to cover this month.
Yes.
So that being said, again, like I said, I think a successful month for the promotion. I think that things are moving, like you said, things are moving in the right direction. Things are heating up. You got the Rock and Roll Express in play now. We've got the heel champion and Dirty White Boy. And no matter what anybody says, it's always more fun to have a heel champion in a promotion, getting chased by the baby faces. Paul Orndorff and Ronnie Garvin are tearing it down. Dixie Dynamite, Killer Kyle having feud of the century. And Hector Guerrero, well, he's
there.
He's a stupid
Crazy
Mexican.
Crazy Mexican.
Crazy Mexican. That being said, if you are not already a member of our Facebook group, you can join that group at the WrestleNet Radio Podcast Network, of course, on Facebook. Ask to join, we will let you in, unless you're a bot. And a bot try to get into the. If you're clearly a bot, if you have like two friends and your picture is an AI picture, probably not going to let you in because you're probably a Ukrainian farming information. But anyway, YouTube, you can listen to the shows on
There's
YouTube.
Some loser out there with only two friends with an AI picture that was like, oh man, I was going to join.
Dang it.
Dang it.
Anyway. You can join us on YouTube, also the WrestleNet Radio Podcast Network on YouTube. If that's where you prefer to listen to your podcasts, we appreciate the support. You can subscribe. And any other parting words for our listeners this week, Aaron, as we end Pot on the Mountain, and next week we get back into Saturday night's main event.
Oh, no, just thanks for listening, and like, review, share, comment on YouTube, all that good stuff. That helps out a lot. So.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening to the latest edition of Pot on the Mountain. If you only listen to this series, we'll see you back. We'll see you at the beginning of September. Like I said, if not, if you listen to the show every week, we'll be back next week to continue our series on Saturday night's main event for the second Saturday night's main event.
Yes.
Have a great week, everybody.